Donald Trump is once again at the center of a growing political storm, and this time the stakes appear higher than ever. The world is watching as tensions overseas collide with mounting controversy back home. Supporters say the administration is projecting strength on the global stage. Critics argue the opposite, claiming the situation is spiraling into instability. Either way, one thing is undeniable. The political temperature right now is extremely high, both inside the United States and across several regions of the world. Over the past several weeks, two major storylines have been unfolding at the same time. One is international, involving rising military tension and geopolitical maneuvering in the Middle East. The other is domestic, involving political investigations, economic concerns, and controversies surrounding the administration itself. These two storylines are now beginning to collide in ways that analysts say could reshape the political landscape. When foreign conflicts escalate at the same time that domestic political pressure builds, it creates a very complicated environment for any government. Leaders must balance military decisions, diplomatic messaging, and economic stability while also navigating the intense scrutiny of public opinion. That balancing act is becoming increasingly visible as the situation develops. At the center of the international debate is the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is considered one of the most critical energy choke points in the world. Every day, a significant portion of global oil shipments passes through this route, connecting energy producers in the Persian Gulf with markets across Europe, Asia, and beyond. Because of that, even small disruptions in the region can have enormous ripple effects throughout the global economy. Energy traders monitor the situation constantly, and when tensions rise, markets often react immediately. This is exactly what economists and geopolitical observers have been warning about in recent weeks. The possibility of military escalation has triggered intense discussions about energy security, global supply chains, and economic stability. Meanwhile, political debate inside the United States has become increasingly heated. Critics of the administration argue that domestic issues ranging from economic uncertainty to ongoing legal controversies are creating pressure inside Washington. Supporters counter that strong leadership is required during volatile international situations and that decisive action is necessary to protect national interests. Regardless of where someone stands politically, the reality is that the political environment has become deeply polarized. Economic concerns have also entered the conversation. Inflation pressures, fluctuating energy prices, and international trade disruptions are all being discussed as part of a broader debate about the direction of the American economy. Some economists warn that rising geopolitical tensions could drive oil prices significantly higher, which would affect transportation costs, manufacturing expenses, and everyday consumer prices. Others argue that markets have historically shown resilience even during geopolitical crises. But when political tension, economic uncertainty, and international conflict overlap, the result can be a very unpredictable environment. That unpredictability is what many analysts believe the world is witnessing right now. During this period of rising tensions, reports have confirmed that Donald Trump held conversations with global leaders about the evolving situation. Among those discussions were communications with Vladimir Putin, which reportedly involved conversations about multiple geopolitical issues, including developments in the Middle East, as well as the ongoing war involving Volodymyr Zelensky. When multiple international conflicts intersect at the same time, diplomacy becomes much more complicated. Governments must manage alliances, economic relationships, and military strategies all at once. A decision in one region can have consequences in another, especially when global powers are involved. Military analysts often warn that the most dangerous moments occur when communication breaks down between countries during tense situations. Misunderstandings, miscalculations, or unexpected events can quickly escalate into larger confrontations. That is why diplomatic backchannels are often used during crises. These behind-the-scenes communication channels allow governments to exchange messages quietly and clarify intentions without creating public pressure. While these diplomatic efforts continue, developments on the ground remain fluid. Reports of military activity, security operations, and defensive preparations have all added to the sense that the situation is evolving quickly. International observers say the coming weeks could determine whether the conflict stabilizes or becomes more volatile. Inside Iran, public reactions have also been closely monitored. Large demonstrations and gatherings have been reported in several cities, with citizens expressing a wide range of views about the situation. Some demonstrations reflect support for national unity during a time of external pressure, while others reflect frustration with the ongoing conflict and its economic consequences. Political scientists often note that external conflicts can have complex domestic effects inside countries. Sometimes outside pressure strengthens national unity, at least temporarily. At other times, it intensifies internal political debates. Understanding those dynamics is critical when evaluating how international conflicts evolve. Meanwhile, global markets are watching developments very closely. Energy markets in particular tend to respond quickly to geopolitical tension involving major oil-producing regions. When traders believe there is even a small risk of supply disruptions, prices can react almost instantly. That reaction can influence everything from airline ticket prices to shipping costs and the price of goods in local stores. Because of that, governments around the world are paying close attention to developments in the region. Diplomats, economists, and military analysts are all attempting to predict what the next phase of the situation might look like. Some believe diplomatic negotiations could still reduce tensions if leaders find a path toward de-escalation. Others worry that continued military operations or political escalation could make the situation more dangerous. For now, the situation remains uncertain. Every statement from political leaders, every diplomatic conversation, and every development on the ground has the potential to shift the direction of events. In the modern information age, news spreads instantly, and global markets react within minutes. That means the political messaging surrounding international crises is now more important than ever. Leaders must carefully choose their words, because statements can influence financial markets, diplomatic relationships, and public perception all at once. At the same time, domestic politics inside the United States continue to shape the conversation. Political analysts say the intersection between foreign policy and domestic political debates often becomes most visible during election cycles and periods of intense partisan competition. Decisions about military strategy, diplomatic negotiations, and economic policy are often interpreted through political lenses. Supporters of the administration highlight national security priorities and the need for strong responses to international threats. Critics argue that diplomacy and economic stability should remain the primary focus. These competing perspectives reflect the broader divisions within American politics today. But regardless of political perspective, most analysts agree on one point. The coming months could be extremely significant for both global stability and domestic political dynamics. The choices made by leaders in Washington, Tehran, Moscow, and other capitals could shape international relations for years to come. And because the world is now so interconnected, economically and politically, the consequences of those decisions will not remain confined to one region. They will ripple outward across financial markets, diplomatic alliances, and political debates worldwide. For now, the world is watching closely. Governments are monitoring developments, analysts are studying every statement, and citizens across many countries are trying to understand what might happen next. In moments like this, uncertainty often dominates the conversation. But history shows that diplomacy, communication, and careful decision-making can sometimes prevent situations from escalating further. Whether that happens this time remains to be seen. What is clear is that the situation is still evolving, and the next series of decisions could determine whether tensions cool down or intensify. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more clear explanations of major geopolitical events and political developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with others.